All 10 of you? 8 of you? You're set for the special meeting for general purposes. Today is Tuesday, June 28th, 2022. I'd like to call to order and roll call. Mrs. Wood.
Mrs. Cassatt,
Here.
Mr. Damascus,
Here.
Mr. Hardwick,
Here.
Mr. Camus,
Here.
Mr. Keating,
Here.
Mr. Majer, Mr. Perfetto,
Here.
Mr. Pazinski, Mr. Savage.
Here. Please stand for a moment of silence, followed by the salute to the flag.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, statements from interested citizens,
I think before you get into statements from interested citizens, you're going to be doing a motion to amend the agenda. Right. So, because you want to do that before you do the statement. Budget.
I'm looking for a motion to change the agenda.
So moved.
Wait, so actually,
Or-
so I think Paul's going to make a motion.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
I am. I'm going to make a motion that pursuant to the request for proposal for legal services that was dated April 28th, 2022, with a submission deadline of May 31st, 2022, that we appoint the law offices of Bellarmine and Saramboli for a 2-year period as the school's solicitor.
So what you're going to want to do is, it'd be item number 12. You do a motion to add item number 12 to the appointment. I think you want to put the qualifying language, Paul, in accordance with the bid submitted for the RFP.
So I need a second.
Second.
That's the motion you want though, right?
Yes, my motion that's on the table is to appoint the law firm of Bellarmine and Saramboli pursuant to the RFP that was circulated, which was dated April 28th, 2022, for appointment as the school solicitor for a period of 2 years commencing July 1st, 2022.
So we have a motion to involve.
Okay, could I have a second?
Second.
Mr. Camus?
So you're going to do a roll call.
Okay, roll call please, Joey.
Mrs. Cassatt,
Yes.
Mr. Damascus,
What are, we're voting on just that one item?
Just you're voting
Just
to,
to add
Put
it
it-
on the,
to add it.
yes, okay, I'm sorry.
Mr. Hardwick,
Yes.
Mr. Camus,
Yes.
Mr. Keating,
Yes,
Mr. Perfetto,
Yes.
Mr. Savage.
Yes.
yeah, so now all your agendas will have an item 12, which is the item that you just added to the motion. So now you can start with interested statements.
All right. Statements from interested citizens. Citizens addressing the board are asked to state their name and town of residence in accordance with board policy 903. There's a copy available. Statements are limited to 3 minutes. Anyone?
Hi, Beth Marashko from Kingston. Can we ask that you move your microphones closer to you? Because we couldn't hear what you just did. I was on your webpage today and it showed the meeting for tonight and they called the meeting just the general purpose. And it's really a special meeting about the budget. And don't you think that title should have been a little more clear to our citizens so they knew that you were talking budget items tonight? Possibly raising their taxes or possibly doing whatever else you wanted to do tonight in the agenda. I'm not sure if that's a clear violation of the Sunshine Act or not, but I will be contacting the Citizen Advisory Group and asking them on an opinion on whether that was a violation of the Sunshine Act. And if that's,
Maybe step back a little bit, because
well, we
I
can't
can't hear,
hear,
I'm having a hard time really.
we can't hear you, so we're thinking you can't hear us. So I will be asking them if that is a violation of the Sunshine Act, because it is misleading that it's just a general purpose meeting when it really is a budget meeting. And I'm not sure anything that you do tonight is qualified as being able to be done because the public doesn't know that this is a budget meeting, not a general purpose meeting.
Well, there are more things on that agenda than just the budget. You're aware of that, right?
Not according to this paper that we got. It's all budget.
It's not 11 items on your agenda?
The agenda is referring to everything on the budget, and that's what last month's meeting was about. The meeting for tonight is budget meeting. That's what was discussed last month.
Excuse me, can I see your paper, please?
Webpage with the agenda, so I'll have to go up too. So this is out there.
This wasn't.
I would assume so. I mean, your language.
So we have 3 items that have nothing to do with the budget, and that's how you can classify it as a general purpose. That's very misleading, very misleading.
Thank you.
I actually see count 6, but okay. Items, shows 3. She's saying that we're misleading the attention.
Anybody else?
No,
Anyone
7
else?
items, right?
That's it?
This year added 12.
Okay. All right. General recommended action. General recommended action.
Mr.
Did
Youssef,
you?
can I say something
Go ahead,
before?
Paul. Yeah,
Just
my
on,
mistake.
on our general recommended action, because
Yes.
there are, quite a few things this evening that we're going to discuss, the budget being one of them. First thing that I'd like to do is to commend our administration and the remaining fellow board members here, because, last year at this time, we had a budget of $89,395,855, which came along with a maximum index tax increase. And through the hard work of this team of people, we were able to shave $5,435,090 off of that budget. Our budget, with inclusive of all personnel increases and operating costs, we were able to knock down by $5,435,090. It's over a 6%, decrease in the total operating budget from where it was last year. There's no tax increase that's contained in this budget. There are different schools of thought. I want to be clear on passing this budget tonight with no tax increase. We feel that since we were able to shave almost $5.5 million off of this budget, that we're trending more in the direction of coming up with a baseline, realistic budget for the school district. We had a very short period of time to dive into this. With basically the middle of March timeline wise, when we really found out what the overall depth of the financial consequences were here at the district. And everybody put a lot of work into this. And even though we know that there are lots of compelling capital needs yet for this for this district, we also know that we have a capital fund that has roughly $2 million in it, plus or minus, $100,000 to $200,000 on that based on some potential overages that may have been incurred on outstanding capital projects. But I think given the conditions that we all live in today, the off the chart inflation, the uncertainty of the economy, the board is doing what they feel is in the best interest of the people, and that's introducing a budget with no tax increase at $83,960,765. We still have a lot of work to do for this district. This is only our first year. We only focused on one area of personnel so far. There's a lot of work ahead of us. There are other areas that we were unable to do the time to even to get into those things. But we want to continue to try to lower our cost as much as possible to come up with what we feel is a realistic baseline operating budget before we pass any further costs onto the people. So I thank the administration and fellow board members for working so closely with the finance committee on being able to present a budget like that this evening. And also under general recommended actions, we had some wonderful applicants for the business manager's position. Mr. Cardoni was to retire on June 30th, but was kind enough to give us 2 extra months. And we really had some fine people that were in line for this position. And the gentleman that we're going to recommend appointing this evening, Mr. Tom Widiak, brings a substantial amount of hands-on school district business management experience to us. And while there were others that were in this mix that had excellent managerial, financial skills, government skills, we all felt that someone that could hit the ground running, that has a proven history, someone who has demonstrated in their present capacity and past to be a capable, credible business manager. That's who we decided to, recommend for appointment, so they can step in and help us continue to crawl out of this large hole and do what's right for Wyoming Valley West. That's all I have at this time.
Thank you.
Well, so before you move to approve anything, you need to insert the budget numbers on item 1 and the millage numbers on item 2. So establish the school tax millage for fiscal year 2022/2023 is 1803.
0.03.
0.03. And for your budget amount, Paul, what are we putting in item number 1?
Yeah, the total expenses for the 2022-2023 budget are $83,960,765. The total revenues, $85,148,992. And again, I did not mention this earlier, but this budget contains, as presented this evening, a net surplus of revenues over expenses of $1,188,227. So again, that's another reason why we opted to not put a tax increase on the table.
Mr. Keating, just for point of clarification, the budget is $83,960,765.
That's the number that should be on that line.
on page 2 of the expenses. The total expenses, 83,960,975. That's the total amount of the expense side of this budget. Yes.
Thank you very much.
So maybe you should probably do these items one by one, so you don't have confusion, especially since you're filling in budget numbers. So Rick, if you have the numbers or Paul, you may want to do motion for one or call or have Dave call it one at a time.
So, Mr. Chairman, I mean, if you would like to have Mr. Keating in the finance, as the chair of the finance committee, insert those numbers in number one, by all means.
Okay. Paul, would you mind doing that?
Not at all.
Okay. Would you please?
So why don't you
I-
call
I-
for a vote on item one?
Okay.
Again,
Can I ask
there's-
one question about not so much the budget, just where do we sit with our SOR officers from the Plymouth and Larksville? We tabled that a couple months ago. Are those numbers gonna be in the budget or do we know?
they're in there.
They're
They're in
Did
the
we
budget.
approve that contract yet or we're still waiting on numbers?
There are operational issues, I believe, that the superintendent, solicitor, and committee are working out on now, on those right now.
So we have proposed contracts from them. We're gonna be submitting some language changes to both Larksville and Plymouth with regard to changing a few provisions. If that all works out, then they'll be coming back to the board for approval of those contracts.
So as of this moment, technically, we do not have SRO officers up in Plymouth or in Larksville.
No, so your contracts actually roll over for a period of time, right? So there is some.
They roll.
There is some built way, there is some leeway built into them, right? So, it'll be discussions with them about changing some of the language.
Gotcha. Thank you.
What's that? 83,960,765. Yeah. So just for inserting into line one, expenses. 83,960,765. That's 83 comma 960 comma 765.00. Expenses. Revenues. 85,148,992. 85 comma 148 comma 992.00.
And then for item two, it's 18.03. Paul,
One thing on our revenues is since we never got anything from the state. And as far as what we're going to get, and I did contact them and the answer I got was just pretty much try and do what you can. We just did a small increase of 4%. We thought that was as conservative as we could go. Hopefully we will get more.
So for the millage rate being inserted in number two, it's 18.03.
18.03, yes.
Okay.
This is a direct reflection of this year's millage rate.
What's that?
That is what the current millage rate we are at.
Correct. The millage rate will not change from 2021, 2022 to 2022, 2023, remains at 18.03 mils.
So you want to roll call with that individually or for all 12 items at once?
Number 10.
Yeah, without,
With the modified number 10.
with the, yeah. Okay, so we'll look at items 1 through 12. And we'll take out on item 10, we'll take out the name of Paul Grabowski as an assistant principal. Okay?
That's because he withdrew his application.
So can I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Second. Mrs. Wood?
Mrs. Cassatt,
Yes.
Mr. Damascus,
Yes.
Mr. Hardwick,
Yes.
Mr. Kamis,
Yes.
Mr. Keating,
Yes.
Mr. Perfetto,
Yes.
Mr. Savage.
Yes.
Now you do board comments. If you had any.
Do we have any comment from anybody on the board? Comments?
I mean, I would like to say thank you to the finance committee. Working so hard, all of us up here, and Mr. Corone, once again, thank you for staying on and helping us get through this time and helping us transition our new business manager in place. Thanks to Mr. Tosh as well, for helping us work on that plan.
And Mr. Anderson.
And thank you, Lars, for everything you have done for us and keeping us, and, you know, the slight change is definitely not a reflection of you and your professionalism.
I appreciate it.
And congratulations to Mrs. Woods as well
Absolutely.
on your retirement.
Mr. Savage, can I have it for 1 second
Yes, sir.
before we go? The board approved tonight, the boundary adjustments as a result of the potential closing of Skylar, and I just want to let
Conditional.
everyone know that at 9 o'clock tomorrow morning, we will post on the district website the boundary adjustments so parents can see, parents of the Skylar students, as well as letters will be sent home this week and next week in that regard. So again, the boundary adjustments that we've made, they will be posted on the district website tomorrow at 9 o'clock. You'll see the boundaries for the Skylar parents. And then we will send out letters this week and next week, just reinforcing where your children will go to school. Along those lines also, I'd like to take this opportunity, as was said, Mrs. Wood tonight concludes her last board meeting as the board secretary. She's been an employee in this district for 22 years, from the high school to over here at the middle school when I was here. And she's been the secretary through Mr. Supon, Mr. DeReamer, and myself. And I have to tell you, she has been as professional an employee as there can be. And we wish her all the best health and happiness in her retirement. I know her husband's retired, so now Mrs. Wood rightfully gets to retire. And on behalf of the board, we have a token of our appreciation. So thank you, Mrs.
Thank you, Mrs. Woods.
Mr. Savage, I'd also like to thank Mrs. Wood for really doing a great job for the school district. Obviously learning how busy it is around here and all the work that you do. Thank you so much and enjoy your retirement. Want to welcome and look forward to working with Mr. Widiak, our new business manager. Welcome Tara Shook as the new assistant principal. And what's that? Okay, I'm gonna get that. It is, let me finish. I want to- Okay, we also want to welcome Jen Bulla. Jen, they didn't let me finish, but welcome. Have fun. And also, I want to thank Lars Anderson also for doing a really good job for the school district. Lars has helped to steer us through some difficult times and give us some wonderful advice. Thank you, Lars, for everything that you've done here.
Thank you for the opportunity to serve. So I think with that, we call a motion.
Motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second?
Second.